Okay, welcome everybody to the January 7th first meeting of the year for the SKA Association. I wish I could see everybody's smiling faces, but just fake it for a moment and I will see you in just a little bit. For those of you that have been trying to come when we were doing Zoom and did go to the church, I apologize for not putting on a door notice, but there will be one from now on if we're not meeting at the church. All right, so we have Sergeant Eric Smith here with us to give us a community report. I'd like to let him go forward. How are you doing this year?
Good, thank you, Catherine. I'm glad I could make it today. I hope everybody had a good New Year and holiday couple of weeks there. I'm sure everybody on the key noticed it was really busy. I think it's normally busy that time of year out here on the key, but it seemed like this year we were extremely busy with people out there over the Christmas and New Year break. Over from December 1st to the 31st, we had 372 calls for service, 19 of which works out to be about 5%, were, I used to call them the Part 1 crimes, right? The FBI, they had the crime reporting statistics, and they separated them out into Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 crimes. Well, we've changed that now with 2021. Some of the reporting requirements and the way that the sheriff's office, and not just the sheriff's office, but every law enforcement agency in the nation, is now reporting to the federal government about their crimes. And I'm going to switch over here so I can make sure I get this right. But it is now, instead of the Uniform Crime Report, is now going to be called the National Incident-Based Reporting System, NIBRS. Law enforcement officials are big with acronyms, so we like to use them as much as we can. But it changes the way, it's not a huge difference in what you're going to see, but it changes the way kind of we report the crimes and incidents that we go to from a law enforcement agency to the federal government, so they can kind of see and track things a little differently. It's a little more all-inclusive than what the Uniform Crime Report was. So you'll see our crimes reported might go up a little bit, but it's just because they're kind of including more crimes in what they consider a person's crime or a property crime, and it's more inclusive than the Uniform Crime Report was. But we're still right around. It didn't really affect us too much out there on the key. For the almost 2 years I've been out here, we've been hovering around that 4% range, and this past month in December we were at 5%. Part of those crimes were, again, there was one unlocked vehicle theft. A guy left his car unattended and unlocked for a short period of time. It doesn't take long. People see your car's unlocked. It just, kind of invites them to come in. So, again, lock your cars. And then we had a couple of residential burglaries where some garage doors were left open and unattended. Again, just like your cars, lock your houses up, shut your garage doors, lock them. It just helps as a crimes of opportunity that we can eliminate just by simply taking the extra steps to lock up and make sure we have everything secured. One of the things that had taken place and kind of picked up a little bit over the past few weeks, the last few weeks of December, was we've had some vandalism and burglaries to the lifeguard stands at the public beach. I would venture to guess that this is mostly because of the influx of people and visitors we've had at the beach. It happens from time to time, but there was probably 2 or 3 nights in a row that different stands were broken into, and then they're not sealed up like Fort Knox or anything, but they were broken into. A couple of things were taken, some things were messed around inside the stands. Nothing detrimental, but we've put some extra patrols out there at night, try to keep an eye on the lifeguard stands out there and make sure they're not going to be ruined and the lifeguards can still use them. That's about it for the statistics and the crime reports for the month of December at Siesta. But I know there's been, as usual, a lot of questions, and Catherine and I spoke about this earlier on the phone about dogs on the beach. And I want to address it again. I assure people that the sheriff's office does not take that lightly. There's no referendum. There's no lax behavior on our part when it comes to when we see dogs on the beach. We try to approach every single person we see. Anytime anybody calls, we respond to try to locate the people with the dogs on the beach. But dogs on the beach are not allowed. Any type of pet on the beach is not allowed unless it's a service animal. And even then, it still needs to be under control. It needs to be on a leash, and it needs to be with the owner unless that animal is performing its service. Now, if there's an incident and the animal needs to perform its service, then of course it can go off leash and do what it's trained to do. But if you see people on the beach, please call us. Call us. That's what we're here for. Don't feel like it's a nuisance to us. Don't feel afraid to call. Please call the non-emergency number. They'll dispatch us out to it, and we can get out there. That's usually the best way to handle it because it's the most timely that we can be notified and respond to the area. With all the people that's coming in, everything that's going on around the nation, I heard Governor DeSantis talk about it the other day on TV. Florida is kind of a hot spot right now. People are flooding into Florida. We're open. The schools are open. People are moving here. Our home sales are rising and going through the roof, and not just Sarasota County, but all of Florida. So with that influx of new people, plus all the holiday travel that we had, I think there's a huge learning curve with getting that information out and letting the new people and people that have come here and educate them on the laws of Sarasota County and let them know that dogs and pets aren't allowed out there. But if you see it, please call us. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. Try to help protect our beaches and help protect the people out there. With that, I'll open it up. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Do we have any kind of regulations about homeless? If we get a lot of homeless people coming into the village, do we have anything to prevent it becoming something to where it becomes a real issue?
Well, it's not against the law to be homeless. We have certain county ordinances that prevent camping and overnight sleeping at certain areas. And I don't know if a couple years ago, Sheriff Knight unveiled and rolled out our homeless outreach team. And it's a group of about 4 or 5 deputies, along with, I think, 3 or 4 other civilians that assist them. And that's their main goal, is they try to reach out to homeless people in the area and try to work with programs. We work with the Salvation Army, the Viper program, all the other assistance programs we have throughout Sarasota County, and try to get those people into some housing. So if you do see some homeless people around, more often than not, we've spoke with them, and we try to put them in touch with our homeless outreach team, with a deputy from there. And they're pretty good about what they do. They're pretty persistent in trying to get some of these people back on their feet and into some housing. But give us a call. We can always redirect them to our homeless outreach team, and maybe we can get them some help.
No, that answered my question. I just was curious to know if we had something in there just in case it would become